Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Andrea. I'm the Teen Services Coordinator here at Mesa County Libraries, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some clay skull beads with one of our Take and Make kits. It's going to be available soon. So October 23rd through November 5th, we are going to have these kits available at all Mesa County Library locations while supplies last. So if you're excited about this, I encourage you to get into the library quickly to see if we still have some there. All right. So what you're going to get in your kit is you're going to get a piece of white clay, and this is specifically polymer clay, and then you're going to get a piece of elastic, a few toothpicks, and a set of instructions. They're going to tell you how to make this, and what you're going to be making at the end of the day is hopefully some clay skull beads, and the trick of it is I'm trying to make sure their little faces are facing out towards you. So hopefully yours are going to be a little less toasted marshmallow, shall we say, than mine. I had a little accident where the heat on my oven got too high, which is a good learning moment for all of us, because this type of clay is not an air dry clay. You have to bake it for your beads to set. So that's just why mine look a little extra toasty. My oven got a little bit too hot for that whole process. All right, so moving on, let's get started and I'll show you how to make these. All right, so now we're gonna make these beads. So first thing you're gonna do before you even touch your clay with your bare hands, go ahead and go wash them, because this is white clay. It's gonna collect all the dirt off your hands. You will be shocked if you don't wash them first how much particulates are attached to there. So go ahead and wash your hands and then come on back. And the first thing we're gonna do is you're gonna decide how big you want your skull to be. I like to make mine about marble size, and as you play around you can experiment with size and see what you want to do. So first thing is we're going to roll this into a little ball, and then I'm going to shape it a bit oblong like that. So that's what it's coming out to, and then we are going to pinch it right about in the middle. And that's starting to create our face shape down here. So this is going to be my chin here. And then the next trick is I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to indent his face here. And sometimes this goes better than others. So, if you're not liking how it's coming out, that's the beauty of clay. You can squish it up, try again. But really the key to making this look like a skull is you want to have a nice brow ridge there. Okay, so I think I've got my skull shape there, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my toothpick here, and I'm going to start doing his face. So first off, I'm going to use the non-pointy end to do his eyes. Got a couple little eyeballs there, and then I'm going to give him a nose here. Just two little dashes. So as you can see, they're just little likes. I've heard it described as a Voldemort nose before, and I kind of liked that. And then for the mouth, we're going to do 3 lines vertically, like that. And I found actually if you drag your toothpick through the clay, it kind of makes an uneven line, like you've got this extra clay to deal with. So it's almost better to just press the toothpick in rather than putting it directly up and dragging it. Okay, so we've got 3 vertical, and then we're going to do 1 horizontal across all those 3 lines. All right, let me see how I'm feeling about this guy. Yeah, he can work. And the nice thing is that these are all very individualized. And then to make him a bead, which you don't have to if you don't want to, we're just going to take our toothpick, go right through the middle of his head, and boom, you got a little skull bead. One thing I wanted to do was show you, I just had this thought today, and I was like, why not try making a vertebra or some spacer beads? So, you could have a bunch of skulls lined up in a row like these guys, but I think it could look kind of nice to have some spacer beads in between. So you could do that really simply, just do a little round bead there, stick toothpick through the middle, boom, you got a nice little spacer before you put your next skull there. I was thinking a fun spacer bead too could be to do a vertebra. I was looking online, it looks like you can actually buy snake vertebra for beads, which is pretty wild, but I have to admit I don't really want to try and get a snake vertebra right now. So I'm gonna model it on a human thoracic vertebra. There are other vertebrae you can do, of course, but this one just seemed simplest to me and most bony looking. So what I'm gonna do here, I went through that without showing you. Got a little ball here, gonna flatten it a little bit, my thumb, and then I'm gonna pinch a little spike up at the top like that. Then one on each side of that original spike. Zoop. I don't know why I'm doing sound effects, but I guess bones need sound effects. Just keep in mind, the more pointy it is, the more likely that your bead is to break. So, just keep that in mind if you're trying to do something kind of delicate. And then to make it really look like a vertebra, you need to put a hole in the middle of it. And then boom, you got yourself a little vertebra. I encourage you to look at pictures online so that you can get some ideas of what vertebra actually look like. If you're like, I think I could do better than she did, cool, go for it. Make something like super anatomically correct, I support you. One downside if you do it like this is you can't really see that it's a cool vertebra if you put the thread through the hole that I just put in the middle. So I haven't actually tried it, but one thing that you could try is doing a hole in the middle, so it's very clearly a vertebra, and then putting a hole in through the side where your thread will actually run through. Cool. And just keep in mind, if you decide not to use the elastic that is provided for your beads, and you want to use something else, if it's a thicker material, you just need to make the hole bigger because clay shrinks as it bakes. So, just make sure that if you are going to do that, experiment with one bead, see how it's going. Hi, so you've made your beads, now you're ready to bake them. So just to remember, mind you, this is polymer clay. It is not going to get hard if you leave it out. It's just going to eventually crumble. It's not going to harden into anything usable. So this requires that you have an oven, either a toaster oven or a regular oven. Not a microwave oven though. Do not microwave polymer clay. It will just turn black and smoke and it's gonna be bad and you'll probably break your microwave, so don't do it. Just don't. So once you have your oven though, you're going to preheat it to 275 degrees max. Do not make it hotter than that. If anything, I would encourage you to do a little cooler, like 250. Ovens aren't super accurate a lot of times, so, something to keep in mind. And then before you bake your beads, since everyone's going to be making different sized beads, they really encourage you to get out a ruler and measure how thick your beads are. So, for instance, my skull here at its thickest point is about 1/2 inch, and my vertebra bead here is about 1/4 inch. So according to Sculpey Clay website, which is what this brand is, it's Sculpey, you are going to bake at 275 degrees for 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch. So for instance, this is 1/4 inch thick, so I'm gonna bake it for 15 minutes. This one is 1/2 inch thick, so I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes because, half is twice as much as 1/4 and 30 is twice as much as 15. So that's the idea. Feel free to take it out a little bit early. Especially if you're going for a true bone white effect. I don't really encourage you to make yours look like toasted marshmallows like mine did. It was getting a bit smoky and I wasn't a fan of it. So, but just keep an eye on it. Don't really wander away and take them out. Be sure to let them cool properly before you start handling them. They are very hot when they come out. And then once you're all done, you can string them on your elastic or whatever else you want to put them on. So, again, if you are looking to do this activity with us, we are distributing these kits from October 23rd through November 5th, and we really hope you can join us. So thanks again for joining us today. So.